Your speaker is not working. Please check the connection. There you go. All right.
You switched things, you know.
Yeah, things are all different.
I just love updates.
Oh, yeah.
They're helping them. What's that? What? No, it's not son. All right,
That's
all your.
I thought. It's just.
They called Board of Selectmen meeting to order. We've already done the pledge of allegiance. I move to approve the agenda as presented. Take a look at it. All those in favor? The approval of the minutes. I move to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes for September 3rd, 2024. All those in favor? Audience of citizens? Any comments? Well, this is the update on the boathouse pavilion.
So. The boathouse challenge that you've been given. So it, we're trying to come up with a better thought process for handicap access than the two we've already considered. The one we rejected, which was a lift, just too expensive and too much maintenance. The second one we looked at was a bridge to increasing of the whole front yard to level with the whole retaining wall. Again, that would require sidewalk all the way back to the parking lot because you're at a higher level on the new sidewalk. So each of those were at least 75,000. So I asked Bob Powell to meet with me, who's a retired architect, and Bob came up. And what we're trying to get away from is putting fencing across the whole front of the yard. So Bob came up with this idea that's in your binder of going off the side. So it would be a ramp 30 feet towards the kayak rack on the side of the building and then 30 feet back. And that would give you the slope to come up. You go to the second page, you'll see the railings would be not present in the front of the whole property. It would be on the side where the kayaks are. So we're having this quoted, so we'll have an idea for the public hearing on October 1st to discuss this. So what we found out is by law, we're not forced to put handicap access due to the cost of the access is more than 20% of the cost of the whole pavilion. It's not 3 stories and the square footage is small enough that it's not required. But enough people have come to our attention stating it's not just for wheelchairs, it could be for elderly, it could be for mothers and strollers. So that's why we're considering this, and I'm just trying to come up with a more reasonable option. This won't involve any land changing of the pitch of the ground, no retention walls. This will be just on piers. Just like if you were putting a handicap walkway in front of your house. Out of a mainland. So we're getting this priced out, and we can also negotiate with whoever we talk to. Bob originally designed it 5 feet wide because that's the width it needs for 2 wheelchairs to pass, but it doesn't need to be 5 wide. I checked with the building official, and it could be as narrow as 36 inches rather than, so it'll probably be past this. Which will also cut costs. So I just wanted,
It'd be interesting to know how much cost difference it would be.
well, not that it wouldn't be that much, but it's still. It'd be easier to navigate the wider it is, you wouldn't have to worry about bumping into the side of the wheelchair, but.
Turn, that's where.
Well, the platform has to be so many, so the platform has to be, so it doesn't have to be as wide as the rest. It has to be, I think, at least 5.
I think it's narrower is better, because then you, yeah.
You have a
Yeah,
railing
you
close.
do that too.
And then the only stonework we'd have to do is be connect the existing sidewalk that ends at the stairs to the new platform, right to the side.
So the public hearing is October first. I didn't,
So there wouldn't be a concern about the ingress of the slope of the current. Stone.
No, because we're gonna use the existing sidewalk this way.
Right, and there's no concern about the existing slope of that?
No, because that's already ADA
Okay.
compliant. And then you just spin off to the right at the stairs and go right into the ramp.
that seems like a better place to put it.
Right. You're not blocking the view of the front of the.
Right. I don't know,
Because there's really not.
Right, there's not. Yeah,
Does that block the kayak rack?
You might have to move it a little. But Ian had a new idea today.
Well, you could use underneath it.
That's what Ian's idea was, you put kayaks all underneath your walkway as a slip.
Sure, so you don't have to open it.
You just slide it in,
Yeah,
and it's covered.
which is one idea, but you do understand that when the lifeguards are not there, this will become a skateboard park.
We're gonna have electric retention areas, I think, exactly. And then after out at third grades. No, but I did ask the electrician when he wires, he was wiring it today, to leave receptacles to put motion lighting. So at least if activity at night pops in
So they
there.
can see where they're going, yeah.
Right.
Good risk management.
It don't want to crashing at night. It also helps when they leap off the railings into the.
it gets worse.
It score their landings. I was one kid. This is a pavilion, the most expensive pavilion in Connecticut.
Yes, it is. So we'll see what happens on October first. The new business, preliminary fiscal year 23-24 year-end budget review, Beverly?
Yes, I just want to give everybody a little update about, the, preliminary without finishing the year-end adjustments in the audit, right now, the Board of Selectmen, general fund expenditure budget is showing about $316,000 surplus. The Board of Ed has a surplus of almost $239,000. And the revenues are coming in at about $426,000. There was about, so that's about $982,000 going back into the general fund this year. We've already taken, just as a reference, we've already taken $499,000 out this year, so that basically reduces.
And 491.
And $499 last year, plus another $325,000 last year as well, so, you know, it's almost like a wash, basically, what we took out last year is putting back in. So, with the $499 coming out this year, the general fund is, undesignated fund balance is about 17%, which is pretty much not too bad. It's like a norm, a little above norm, but norm. So we are in good shape starting off the year. So, but yeah, I'll, you know, next month give you another update. Including, I think I have to give you the copies of the transfer to the Board of Ed, so you can kind of see where all the money is back and forth and kind of thing. But you know, the town's still in good standing. And I think that we're going, so when we're ready to go out for bond, at least we're like Chris,
Is there any discussion from Board of Ed for the
they contribute to that this year, it was decided to give all the funds back. They did take money out of their surplus, they're replacing an oil tank, which is about $225,000. And they have some other year-end expenditures too, which reduces their surplus. Otherwise, they would have to come back to the town for the oil tank, which needs to be replaced, so. They thought this was the better way to go. Plus helps with the HVAC, I mean,
Yeah,
that it's going.
no, we're, so, what you say, it was 239,000 the Board of Ed.
Yeah.
What? I guess I'm wondering where that's,
So based on the year-end transfers, there was savings in the salary line by, the current superintendent doing the dual role, which came to about $80,000. There was grant funds, like there was this, that helped pay the curriculum, the new language arts curriculum, that came to about 82,000. There was, with the issues with the busing last year, there was credits of over $30,000, and, they have a REAP grant, which is to help buy computer equipment. There was, money carried forward that was not anticipated, and also additional funds that gave the Board of Ed another $30,000 help cover the cost of laptops and for the students. So that's pretty much, and then tuition, as usual, there was money left over. There was about $7,500. So those are the main factors that we're going to show as the reason for the surplus.
any other questions? Nothing on Columbia Lake in the beat.
Yeah.
Appointments, resignations, the resignation of, Brandon McLean. I move to approve the resignation of Brandon McLean from the Columbia Conservation and Agricultural Commission.
Was he being resigning or is he being removed?
It looks like, he doesn't, he's not around anymore. We haven't heard from him. And
Being removed. We haven't seen or heard from him. In over a year.
He's also an inactive member of the Economic Development Commission. Perhaps we should go through all the commissions that he joined and remove his name. Yeah, he's not a resident of Columbia anymore.
I don't think he is. It sounds like he's done with school, maybe moved on. He was at UConn.
He was on Upper River.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea, Bill. We'll review what he signed up for.
Do we need to make, approve that or vote on it? Remove them? I made the motion.
I would, since you don't have a letter.
Okay, so all those in favor? That's, town administrative report.
I thought you might want to see this Connecticut law enforcement quick reference guide for safe, secure election. So we're doing everything, been working closely with the registrars, trying to come into compliance. One last thing we have to do, we have until 2025, we have to have camera on the ballot box. It's that the community can watch. So
Do we not have one for this election?
we don't need it for this election, because I don't have that capability yet. Right now, our camera system goes to a screen that I can walk into the computer room and look at it, but it's not visible.
Can't we just stick a camera on it that you could check it or somebody can check?
Well, it has a camera that I can watch, but it's not applicable to the law that the residents can watch. So we can, if a resident called and said, hey, I saw something crazy last night, I could go look at it.
So nobody checks to see if any activity was at the box during the night?
It's not part of my daily ritual.
Could it be?
I hope not.
Could it be somebody's daily ritual? Would be worth doing.
I'm sure. Because, what, I guess you'd almost have to have like a ring camera that would go off every time. So you'd have a, because otherwise you'd have to sit there and scroll through 7 hours.
Doesn't it just, it record?
It records, but you,
It doesn't record when there's movement, it records.
no, it's recording all the time. So you'd have to sit there and scan.
Because mine records, we have security cameras at our shop, and it only records when there's movement.
Movement, right, and that's what we have in Red Park, it's based on movement.
Yes.
But none of our camera systems are really what we want for security and reenact. Like at Red Park, when we had the machete wielding drama, it only photographed movement, so I saw the people, the parents leaving. And once they got to the car, they stopped moving, so it stopped recording. So I didn't see that whole interaction. So we're getting quotes on rethinking all our camera systems right now, I'm trying to improve it. Never ends. Okay, so that's that, and then I thought it'd be interesting. CCM in all the cities and towns, CCM led this study that is not, it's not released yet. It's supposed to be released and rolled out tomorrow to the press and to social media. But what you'll see when you go through the study is all the towns and cities have undersized homes. They have drainage problems. We have flooding problems because none of our drainage systems were designed for 3 to 5 inch rainstorm, which over the last 3 years become more than normal. And the other frustration is, you know, we got a nice 50-50 grant for the Pine Street culvert because it was within the parameters, but the Thompson Hill culvert was denied because even though to correctly size it for that stream, it would qualify, but because it started too small, the state denied it. So that's a catch-22. We need to increase the size of our culverts and bridges. And it's a new ratio of 1.2 times bigger than the stream is what they want now, clear stream. But if you start too small, but go to 1.2 as they want, you don't fall. Now Pine Street did because it already started big enough to qualify and it became bigger. So that's a big problem. Other problems are there's just not enough funding. When you read the study, the funding is nowhere near enough for cities and towns to seriously look at their infrastructure. And we can't possibly fund all this ourselves. So right now, we're just tackling the worst of our issues, where we almost lose roads. Other towns that you saw out Oxford and all, they've got much bigger issues where they've lost roads and bridges. The other challenge is the bureaucracy is too onerous. So towns and cities, number one, we have to hire professionals to help do the grants because they're hundreds of pages. Number two, the studies take a year to 2, engineering takes a year, the grant application process a year. I mean, you're talking 3, 4, 5 years to replace on a failing road that could be blown out by Pine Street. So they're trying to upgrade the bureaucracy because it bottlenecks with the Army Corps of Engineers, it bottlenecks with the. We have to fix that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's annoying. So that'll, Jen, run me back to Pete, we gotta somehow put a washer on that. Every time you move on that table, it makes that bizarre tweet. I think that potato table was on your side earlier. We moved it.
I didn't go there.
Okay, but this is worth a read. It's very interesting and the pain is being felt enough that CCM is trying to be an active partner with the state to help them fix the problems we're all having. So that's all I have to.
So how's the committee that we have in town as far as the assessment?
Good. We have one more round of committee members we can't nail down, one who's an engineer. As soon as we do that, we'll bring the committee back together, go over all our. We've had one more. We have to use a second. We can get all the members in the first walk,
And that's,
and then everyone on vacation. And
Yeah.
we're trying to bring them back.
so that's gonna set priorities and what the.
Right, and then we'll show, both Beth and I have been working on our own analysis of, we just also completed, which I will. I'll be presenting to you at probably the next board of selectmen meeting. We just did our full road analysis and inventory. It's fantastic. It was a really detailed analysis telling us what we have to spend, what we need to spend in order to raise, right now our roads are like a 70% quality level, which is average. To bring them up to 75 would require 800,000 a year to be spent on road upgrade. Normally, we spend 400,000 on roads. So 400,000 will keep us at where we are. So it'll allow you to plug and play to see where our problems are, where our issues are, and what kind of investments needed.
Did they ever check the Doubleday, or is that the one that did all the ground radar, so they could find out where things are? Have we done that one yet?
No, that is being done by, we're getting a proposal from our engineering firm as to what they think Doubleday will cost to design a solution.
That's when I had all the things under the
We
road.
done.
Yes.
That aren't sized properly.
Oh, it's-
And it's, they're intersecting on,
Yeah, but they were all wrong.
right?
Well,
They were rotting underneath and the road was underneath.
Yeah.
But I don't think this study would take into account culvert. This is a study of the road conditions, surface road conditions. So that just got completed. And we have the analysis from our engineers for the worst culverts, which I'll share with you. And then the road committee analysis will be added to all that. So this budget season will have a much better grasp of costs facing us for the future.
And they're rating it all,
Yes.
which one's dire?
Yeah, they need to be fixed. The correspondence, there's the state police monthly report. And thank you letters from United Services and Access.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. And under budget, refunds, I move to approve the refunds totaling $793. Any questions?
That's a cover page.
For the-
If I can find it.
No,
Okay, got it.
all those, okay. All those in favor? See them? It's not the summary sheet here.
No.
Okay.
No, we weren't provided a summary sheet.
Okay.
You do it? Or you do?
You have to look at them all.
Chris is looking at adding.
Is it added?
$792.22.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Those in favor? Thank you. Okay. And approve payment of bills, move to approve the payment of bills totaling $77,166.32, consisting of 2024 and 2025 emergency, 2024, 25 regular credit card and paycheck.
Gary Hall went on convention education.
Big work.
Those backhoe tires are pretty expensive. Huh?
Great.
What's the sustainability engineering?
That's the HVAC commissioner.
Oh, SCX, yeah, which,
Okay. That was 8 months.
I think sustainability, committee.
Any other questions on? All those in favor?
Then we have a different. Or audience.
Board member comments. Well, audience and citizens first.
I do have a question. Seems to me, a few meetings ago, the Board of Selectmen appropriated some money to LMAC for an additional study on the water quality of the world. Has that study been performed?
It's in the works and it's going to be reported to LMAC and then back to the board.
And they're gonna test the water in the brook itself, not just in the lake, right?
I believe they're going towards the source more than just the outlet.
Yeah, they should go, right, they should go up the brook a bit, I was walking the other day. Correct, in point, yes, and probably all the way to the swamp.
I don't know how far.
I mean, they could probably do it if they did it right before the first house. To know whether it's a house or if it's on woods. If the source is that. Well, but then you're not gonna know if it's the brook or the houses unless you check the brook. Exactly. And then, yeah, you know what I mean, it's. But if you find it in the brook, well, then you know it's the brook.
I'll.
Well, but if you're above the houses.
Find it.
Right, but where the power lines cross, they did it around there, or even just. Put it upstream from the power lines, because there's nothing up there. Right, when the power lines cross the brook. I walk there all the time. Yeah. So if you went upstream, just on the other side of the power lines. There's nothing but woods there. But what if it's beavers, or if the dog excrement, and the dog fruits, you know? There's just something. I don't know, you would need to, I wouldn't take it down from there, because then you'd be having housing.
I'll find out from GRC how they're doing this. But
Yeah. We'll check that out. Any board member comments? Then the meeting is adjourned at what's,
we're gonna go into executive session.
do I have to adjourn this before I go?
No.
No.
Okay, we're gonna go. executive session.
For legal, and we're gonna invite both Beverly and myself. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Yeah, we just never turn the air on.
Yeah, I think the wall.
Which one is open, both windows, the grenades, yeah.
Sure.
How long are you done? 10 minutes.
I guess people can hear outside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're not yet. I think it might
I
carry.
guess I haven't thought about that. This is
Really, well,
gonna be difficult.
yeah.
We're still recording.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Resume.
No, we're coming out of executive session and no.
No actions
No.
were taken for votes. And we came out at 7:45.
and it came out at 7:45, and, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Carol Price as temporary tax collector. All those in favor?
Aye.
And you can make the motion to adjourn.
Motion.
7:46.
7:46.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.